Okay, we're live now. Welcome
Okay.
to this week's live stream with Christine Hart and Sarah. Christine, you want to say hello?
Hi guys. Hi. How's everyone?
I'm well. Hello. Hi everyone. Richard,
Okay, I'm just going to check for questions in the.
I'm still here, Taj. Do you want to introduce me?
Yeah, sorry, Richard, I forgot about you. Introduce yourself, Richard.
Hi, I'm Richard.
Richard cutting off.
Christine, I don't know if you want to have a quick chat while I look for questions, yeah?
Yeah, sure. How are you keeping, Sarah? Long time no see here.
Pretty well, I guess. Food's helping me out, so that's good.
Who?
Food?
Everyone's so muffled. I can't hear a bloody thing. Who's
Food.
helping you?
Yeah, food. I said the other day to Taj, I said, to Richard, I said, you know, even in that time, we still have good food, so that's a plus.
Yes, that's right. You don't want to go sugaring out though. Like me.
You know, I sweets, so I am not a fan of sweets.
Is anyone getting any feedback at the moment?
Taj is feeding back. Can you stop the call?
If I stop it, then I can't start it again. I have to start a whole new live stream again.
Yeah, so we can't stop.
I'm going to end. And
Mute
might help.
Have you got it open in? Mute your YouTube video.
Right.
Have you got a chat room open?
Right. Yes, I just closed off. I was trying to look at what the images were, but I couldn't mute it. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, I saw you in the chat room. If you're going to watch, if you're going to open up the YouTube live stream, you need to mute the sound on it.
Right. Okay.
This whole sound thing is really a pain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. It's better now.
Okay, is everybody good now?
Yeah, we're all good. I'm
Yes.
just scrolling through the chat to see what questions we have at the moment. How are you, Christine? You all right?
Yeah, I'm alright. I've been dashing around all day. We're moving, so I've been looking at new places, and I found somewhere I like, but it's quite a long way from his school, you know. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to do it every day, twice a day. Yeah.
Can you move a bit closer to the phone?
Who, me?
It sounds very loud.
Yeah. Am I okay now?
Can you guys hear her fine? It's just a bit faint from me.
Yes, I can find Chris.
I can hear. It's cracking up sometimes, but it is still here.
Okay.
Please, it's not such a thing. I hate scripted stuff.
Who's saying we're scripted?
No, we're not scripted. That's the thing.
It's going wrong.
Oh shit! I forgot to learn my script, you guys.
just make it up as you go along. Whose line is it anyway?
I forgot to learn the script that you sent me and things I had to say that you underlined as well.
Compromised, like we're,
I know. I'm a sellout, I've been told.
I know.
Can I ask how? I think I missed that news bulletin.
You're a sellout. You should be rich. You're selling out. Goodness, it's not a great sellout, is it? Huh?
Do you know what I mean? I thought, where's my mansion then? Great, I'll take it. I'll tick the box that says, do you want to sell out? Yes, please.
Yeah.
I want a swimming pool and a mansion.
Oh, yeah. The insanity that people say is absolutely hilarious, and I've just got to laugh at it, 'cause some of the things they say, you wonder where they get it.
I know, the trolls are thick and fast, and the abuse I got from a certain guy saying I was in league with Michael Aquino, some really old guy who lives in America. Yeah, right,
How bizarre.
Christ, really annoyed me. I don't know why I let it annoy me, but it did.
I think there is a certain random quality to it. There are people who want to believe the worst and feel that they have a secret nobody else knows.
I think the
Yeah.
problem with people is that that's it. They always go after the worst. It's like, rather than choosing the positive or the worst, it seems to be some sort of epidemic going around now, everywhere, literally everywhere.
Hmm.
I was
It,
reading
huh?
the article that I posted about bullying and online bullying, of how people who you wouldn't think, they were hiding in back of keyboards, and they hide it from, people around them, because people around them would suspect that they were online trolls or bullies.
Yeah.
And it's becoming a huge issue in the world right now.
Yes, it is. There was a guy in the newspaper in the Daily Mirror who killed himself because of. I saw it on the day that I was being trolled about, that guy saying, "Oh, I know Aquino. I league with him, or I meet him in the astral each night."
Oh,
Wow.
I'm not being funny. I've
No,
better things to do
absolutely.
than.
It's not
no,
funny when you're on the receiving end.
I
Yeah.
this woman the other day who said, "I know you're evil, and I know you killed somebody, because, I saw you in a dream at the Grove, and I simply said to her, I said, you're seeing demons, or you're seeing something that's taking my form, if you're seeing that, other than," because these people are insane, the accusations that they sort of give, and I think they're being messed with and energy raped. A lot of people are being messed with and energy raped through dreams. I really think that, by entities and demons and different stuff.
Yeah,
They're,
I think this guy was hosting something. I really do. It was mad to just get attacked by that. And then someone said, a friend of his said, "What's your relationship with Douglas Dietrich?" And Douglas doesn't speak to me. So
Well, that was
it's like,
simple, wasn't it?
We don't
it,
really have any
sorry.
specific questions at the moment, so I wanted to kick off with anything to do with media, as Christine's here. I have a question myself about the way media is manipulated, especially in things like the news. And obviously everyone watches the news and they think that's taken as fact. It's not necessarily always the case. I just wanted to know what Christine or Sarah has to comment about mainstream news at all.
Christine, I'll let you go first.
well, it's getting worse at the moment. Maza Mahmood, who I work with, and I don't know if I posted an article on my Facebook that I wrote
Yeah.
about working with him, and he is basically being demonized at the moment. He's being sentenced in 2 weeks. I've already had some news channels come on and say, would I come on and talk to them about what it was like to work with him when he goes down, because they're saying he's going to get prison, and they just want the party line, oh, it's so good, he's been put down, and everybody's like, oh, well, he got people to say they were dealing drugs, but he did a lot of really good investigative journalism, and I just find it very sinister that now, they've got this £800 million lawsuit against Murdoch, so they'll probably finish the Sun. That'll probably take down the Times and the Sunday Times. It's a lot of money, and now they're going to go after the Mail, the other newspapers that do investigations.
Who is they?
Well, it's basically led by Hugh Grant and all the celebrities connected to Hacked Off, and you've got masses of celebrities that are behind the scenes, but Hugh Grant is, pretty much the mastermind behind it, and he's got this little posse of ex-News of the World journalists working for him, and they're working to basically sort of destroy the investigative media, and they think they're working on the side of the good, but actually all it's going to do is just destroy the powers that the press have to expose evil, in high places. And it will just mean that we don't really have an investigative media at all. It will just be basically PR stuff sent out by the government, all the time. It's mostly that anyway, but they're just making sure that they've really got it on lockdown, and, nobody's going to slip through the cracks.
Do you know why they're sort of targeting the investigative papers?
Yeah, because they can, they can expose, MPs doing this, that, and the other, fiddling expenses, they've got the power to do that, to investigate. In the old days, we could do so much, and we had MP secretaries ringing us, telling us all sorts of things that were going on. Cops were coming to us saying this, that, and the other. Even people in the intelligence community saying this, that, and the other. None of that goes on anymore. It's all completely on lockdown because of the consequences. And with this Mazza thing and the News Corp being, I think it will be completely destroyed by the 800 million lawsuit against News Corporation, and it'll just be a total blackout, really, and nobody will know what they're doing at the top. It'll just be PR stuff, coming through. It'll just be crap, really, and we'll be just fed even more shit than we are now.
Right, yeah, I understand.
That's the sort of like on the movie V for Vendetta, if I remember right. That's what was happening with that, wasn't it, in that movie?
I didn't see it, actually, Sarah. I'd like to see it. I tried to watch it.
I think that was Viva Vendetta is more about government control of the media and the government using the media as its voice piece. A bit like the American totalitarian states in 1984, where the 1984 Newspeak, which is black is white and white is black, and the government tells you what to believe.
Yes, that's what they're heading for.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about, Christine, is more about where you have particular interest, like, for example, celebrities who are trying to close off investigative reporting so that they aren't caught and reported and then don't become headline news for some reason or other.
Yeah.
Can I throw in, I'm just throwing something. Obviously, I don't work in the media, but from my perspective, it seems that the media have actually caused themselves some problems by coming across at times as apparently quite biased on other issues. And certainly the Press Complaints Commission doesn't seem to be particularly strong. What would you say to people who raise those as issues?
Yeah, no, of course, because it was regulating itself, wasn't it? So it wasn't
and it still is, isn't it? It's effectively it's run by the press for the press, and if you look at the way that the press has printed apologies, it's printed an apology, for example, on page 7 and a minor paragraph, and said on the front page, "Look at this page for an apology." I'm not asking you to defend, obviously, which can't be defended, but do you think that the press, to a certain extent, have created its own difficulties?
Probably. It's not that great, is it? I've had stuff about me printed that isn't true, that you can still see online, and, they printed an apology the next day, and that's not online. I have to,
right.
If I'm challenged about it, I have to go to the newspaper library, get that information, and then send it off. They don't really care. Yeah, it's been spoiled by people that don't really care. It does attract quite cold-hearted people, actually, journalism. I don't know why.
Right.
A lot of the time.
Well, they have to pretty much, be, I don't know, to be a journalist, unless you're a bit more spiritual or whatever, they're basically, it's a bit harder because, I don't know, so I think people tend to like to slag other people off.
Yeah, they do. The level of bitchiness. I was doing a story once on Keith Chegwin, and Keith Chegwin thought of an idea for a newspaper story, and I was working for the Sunday People, and they basically said to me, "Go along, get him on tape, and get him to say that he's got an idea for this program." And this program was that he would get celebrities, and he would get a car that was owned by a celebrity, and go back through time and see what other cars they owned, and then find those cars. And by doing that, he needed to turn around number plates and trace people through number plates, which is illegal. And the editor of the People in Edmonton, he commissioned me. He said, go and get him on tape saying he's intending to do it. And I thought they were going to say, oh, look, silly Keith Chegwin, he's doing this, but he doesn't realise it's illegal, and he won't ever be able to make the programs. But actually, and it ended up a front page story, it was a massive attack on his character. They called him a dirty criminal. I think in one part it made my eyes water to read it. I mean, the guy just made a mistake. He didn't know any better, but they literally called him a scumbag.
They pilloried him.
A loser. I mean, it was disgusting. He ended up, though, because I screwed up and I didn't get him on tape, saying a few things. that he ended up suing them for 200 grand. And I think good luck to him, you know, because
Absolutely.
there's no need for spite, you know?
No. But this is the mainstream media, isn't it? This is like the well-known, what we would, us older people would know as either broadsheets or tabloids, which was just paper press with papers that you read on the train, for example. Do you think that this distrust in the post, in the mail, distrust in the media has led to much more fringe media things, such as happens in the States, the more sort of virulent anti-news almost radio shows? I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want us to be sued, but I think you can think what I'm talking about.
Yeah, probably it has, because we're not really getting the news, are we? We're just getting propaganda, and it is good. But then you get these alternative media outlets, and they all become corrupted. You know, it's money or this or that, or they don't like someone over there, and they, you know, make up stuff about them.
Oh, I agree. I was just saying how Godlike Productions and some of these forums that people use, you know, for reference or as quote as some sort of alternative news. They're basically now about slandering everybody. It's really horrible.
Because you've been on the receiving end of Godlike Productions, isn't that right, Sarah?
Oh yeah, and you know, it's really sad because people just like me just go and write anything, and then when people Google my name up, that's some sort of news people I think about me, unless they're like on my page and are aware that I have these sort of issues.
Yeah, I mean, I've Googled Sarah's name, and you don't want to know what comes up.
Really? So who is Godlike Productions? Who's that?
It's just a forum where people post a lot of conspiracy stuff.
Oh, I see.
But it doesn't have to be.
Sarah, you engender much jealousy, don't you? Hello?
Sorry, there's some feedback there.
Sorry. Give me 1 second.
Sarah, you need to turn your other connection off.
There. Is that better?
No, it's an echo. Sarah?
Sorry about that. I had to change because my phone basically died.
Ouch.
So I had to change to my computer. Are you guys still there?
I'm still
Yes,
here.
I'm here.
Right.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, to continue, I get quite a bit of hate from just absolutely horrible women online, and people just decide to write anything about me, and even create fake. Now there's this whole thing where you can go and create fake messages. You can create literally fake anything and post it up there like you have some sort of evidence.
Right.
And recently it's happened to me, and it's not me that has done this. And I'm looking at these, and you know, it's very easy to find all sorts of programs online where you can make fake messages or anything and then post those. So these people are doing this sort of stuff, and there's a whole thing going on in the awake community with the news going on there that I think a lot of us are being targeted very, very badly, sadly, online, just in the news area in sort of the awake community.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I got attacked last week by a woman, just completely about the Michael Aquino thing. One of the last things Max ever said to me about Aquino was attacking him because he had a headache. And I said that I challenged him on that. I wrote on Facebook, I think I challenged him. What I meant was said, are you sure? That's all I said. She went into one and just called me I was evil, and soon I'd be exposed for being evil. And so I told her to F off and a few other things. And she goes, there, look, I've outed you. It was quite funny in a way. Oh, man.
Yeah.
We have a question about online bullying. I know the question is, I think people who attack or bully online are working day and night to keep any truth from people. What do you think? I mean, who wants to take that first, Sarah? Or
I think they're possessed. I'm honestly starting to think that a lot of these people are possessed. And
me too.
Okay, let's say if they have if they're jealous because they think you're pretty or you have money or whatever. I've had the stupidest stories people told me that I'm some Illuminati princess that has all this money and stuff like this. So any weakness that any sort of weakness, because let's say they're jealous, envious, or anything else, that demon or that entity is going to use that and then sort of use them to go after the target. Especially with people like us that are trying to do good work and awaken others, we are more targeted by entities than other people.
Mm.
They're great drones, you know, for making a huge army online of trolls to come after us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's also a layer of actual quite sexist misogyny as well. That's something I've noticed, that women in this field, they're much more likely to be shouted down and be attacked on the basis of your gender, for example. You're just supposed to be pretty, for example, or if you are attractive, then you're assumed to be an escort. And I think that level of hatred almost of women is widespread across the internet, but it gets focused here and becomes an extra layer of bullying. Do you think that's fair? Hello?
Sarah?
Okay.
Or anyone?
Sarah?
Maybe. I think a lot of women dish it out. I did get two gay guys last week attacking me over Douglas Dietrich. I mean, wow, I couldn't believe it, but there we are. But women often, it is envy based. It is about envy. There was a lot around Max. I think that's why Sarah gets it, because he had massive amounts of women in love with him, and of course Sarah was his girlfriend, and so bang, there you go.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it because of him, and I get it because of my friend Sean, because, you know, a lot of women too, they just decide all this stupid stuff when he's just like my brother, and they send me all sorts of stupid hate mail, so it's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I get lots of hate mail. You know, I get mail that Max never loved you. He was with you because you handled him and forced him to be with you. I'm like, really?
Really?
What a load of crap. He told me he loved you like it was like days before he died, literally. He said it in such...
Oh, I have the messages.
He said it in such a way that it was really weird. It was like a sort of, I don't know, like he felt it in every part of his being. I remember putting down the phone and thinking, wow, I hope some guy at some point loves me like that, you know, because I've never had it yet, actually.
Did I tell you, know, last night we were and I was using the ladies' room, and this girl named Max grabbed my hand, and she started pulling me through town, basically, and talking to me. And I was like, I think Max was there. And she just sat there and hugged me and cried and said, you know, you're amazing, you're an angel, and I love you. And I'm just sitting there like, wow, this is very strange, because, you know, and then she looks up, she goes, oh, my boyfriend, I'm going to tell you about my boyfriend. By the way, you know, he's 22 years old, and I sat there like, oh, awesome.
Oh,
so he's definitely over me. Yeah, I got all his messages and stuff, you know, and he was very overjoyed about some things, because I had managed to tell him I'd work it out in the end. And, you know, I get lots of hate mail from people saying that you wanted to kill him or hurt him. And, you know, I loved him more than anything. I love him more than anything. I've never hurt him. And it's really, really sad to get messages from pathetic people like that. But, you know, it's really, I try to sometimes think about, you know, putting myself in that area. I could never message somebody who lost somebody they loved, message them the things that people message me. I just don't understand it. That's where I think that possession comes in, because there's no empathy, no compassion. There's not even, you know, acting humane, basically. It's really, really bad. So I think that it's definitely possession.
I think you hit the word
possession, yeah.
Lack of empathy, lack of compassion.
And then they have the cheek to say, after saying all this, they have the cheek to say that they loved Max after bashing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people online who say that they were the ones that loved the Max most, and you know, just because they got one or two messages from him or something like that. You know.
Well, it's insane, and there's a lot of, quote, shit stirrers online, and I had to deal with one woman who basically tried to stir up crap between Max and Sean, and Max had no issue with Sean until this woman came along and started to, quote, decode stuff, and she's used this website to decode stuff about me and him, and it's absolutely ridiculous stuff I've had to deal with these people. And this is where I think, like, I'm hoping eventually that, just talking about media stuff on the internet. I'm hoping eventually that, you know, they'll find people, that you can report people and they can find you somehow, or block your accounts or do something, you know, to get you in the end, because I do think that these people deserve it.
Right,
I read about a town who now the schools are going to fine the parents every time their children is found bullying, and I absolutely agree with this. Now we have to take care of adult bullying, which is quite rampant.
Yeah.
And we see it from political leaders as well, and politicians who are aggressive and bullying, and I think that gives it gives permission for other people to feel, well, if he's doing it, I can do it too.
Well, the utter racism and stuff going on in the campaign in the United States is absolutely ridiculous. And the way that women are being bullied, the way that basically all sorts of things are being bullied, racism, immigrants and refugees and stuff like this, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I think a lot of people online also draw you into arguments as well. They'll make a comment, whether it's true or not, just to start an argument with you and to draw you into something you don't want to even get involved in.
Yeah, this girl did that to me, Taj, on Saturday night. She said something really, it was so nasty. I was so shocked. I was out driving. I couldn't go into a shop. I was so angry. I really was so angry. My God.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they just want to get a reaction out of you a lot of the time.
Yeah, she did. I was talking to Jolene at the same time. She said to me, "Why didn't you talk to her as if it were your dead mother?" Texting, "I hate you, you bitch. I want you to die. I hate you." And she went, "Oh, you're so disgusting. I've outed you. People think you're so sweet, but now I'm going to show them all your real, true ugliness." I said, "Go for it."
You know what? I had a similar experience a couple of days ago. I had somebody who had a fake profile message me some really shitty stuff, and I thought, oh, hey, you know, I'm free this evening. I'm going to amuse myself, and I'm going to turn the tables on this one. And I started basically calling them extremely terrible stuff, saying, you know, I don't consider you a human being. I consider you a piece of, you know, because, and there's people that commit suicide because of people like you, that take their lives. This is something serious. And I was telling just to say the meanest stuff to them, you know, on every level. We watched your stuff, we watched your Facebook, you're supposed to be sweet, you're not supposed to be like this, I guess this is the real you. And I said to them, they were like, you can't be like this to us, you cannot be like this, we're supposed to be weak. And they could not put up with me being abusive back to them. They basically took off running.
Right. Sarah, is your microphone close to your mouth or far away? Because I keep losing you.
No, my microphone is not close to my mouth.
Right. It's on
the computer. My phone died.
There's a bit of an echo with your sound. So have you got the live stream on in the background or something?
No, I've just got the live stream on my computer.
Okay.
That's it. You guys will have to put up with it for today. My computer just died, so we're out of luck there.
Yeah, it's a bit of an echo. Have you got a microphone, or are you just using the microphone in the computer?
I'm just using the computer's microphone.
I think we need to get hold of a microphone for Sarah for the next time.
We will do so.
Yeah, we will make sure that happens. Taj, did you see that there was a question that's come up about the presidential race?
I was going to ask that question. Someone asked about the presidential election. What do you think about the presidential race at the moment? Is it all just a charade, or? I mean, most people don't even. I mean, I don't vote myself, but I think it's all a bit of a joke, really. Elections. Who wants to take that first? Christine.
Christine.
I don't know. It does seem weird. There's South Park did a skit on it, didn't they? They said put it douchebag and turd sandwich, and I think it is like that, isn't it? Hillary Clinton and Trump. It's kind of weird, isn't it? I thought that was a joke. And someone said to me, "No, it's for real." I can't believe it, actually.
I don't think many people can actually believe it. As for me, I don't vote. I won't vote. I don't like Hillary or Trump. I do think they're both used by the dark side. I think that it's a whole thing to do a lot of work and how, the soul is energy and how that can be amassed, and basically soul rape, as I call it, soul energy rape. And I do think that these are set up, and it's become so much like a reality show, And I think it's set up to rape and harm the souls of humanity on every single level.
Yeah.
I do think that the dark side has both of these candidates, and it's playing them. And the more that people, the people are so stressed over it, people are so upset about it, and the more that happens, the more they're getting a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Do you think the elections are rigged? Do you think there's any kind of rigging involved?
Yeah, I think they're rigged. I do think they're rigged.
Can I just interject here? I'm going to speak as an outsider on this, but somebody whose work is pretty much monitoring all the different news outlets. And I think, unfortunately, we've got two different news sources for what's happening about Trump and what's happening about Hillary Clinton. What we see about Trump is widely reported, mainstream and non-mainstream news. I think it's pretty fair that most of the news we get about Trump is from the mainstream media, and quotes him and shows him putting his foot in it on a regular basis. And personally, I find him a completely repulsive person. I think he's a bully, and I think he's a narcissist, and he certainly lacks experience. I think the problem with is more complicated. First of all, she is a professional politician. As a professional politician, politicians, by their very nature, are not allowed to get away with just being always right or always clean, unless you are someone like Bernie Sanders, for example, or Elizabeth Warren in the States, or someone like, I believe, someone like Jeremy Corbyn in the UK. But there is a very much a right-wing echo chamber, which has been actually quite vicious about Hillary Clinton. And I would just say this. She's been investigated, I think, so is it 5 or 7 times for Benghazi by the Republican Party. And in no case, in no situation has that investigation done anything but exonerate Hillary Clinton. So that means it's one of 3 things. Either the GOP, the Republican Party, are so completely stupid they couldn't hit an open door from 2 feet with a frying pan, or Hillary Clinton is so incredibly clever she can pull the wool over the complete Republican Party every single time, in which case she might actually make quite a good political leader for the United States. Or she's actually not guilty as of many things that people say, and that a lot of we hear is underlying, again, misogyny because she's a woman, and people are classifying her on the grounds of what her husband did,
I think
who was impeached.
A lot of people won't talk against Hillary Clinton. I think even the director of the FBI took the Fifth Amendment when he was questioned about Benghazi and stuff like that. It's, I don't know if they're like scared of her, or she's got something on them, or she's just riding them, or whatever.
Again, this is where I'm a bit more different on this stuff. I noticed something on the show Stranger Things, how the woman who recruited children for the project on there for the sort of space exploration or NASA the actress was chosen to look exactly like Hillary Clinton. Has anybody seen that? I think it's very odd. And she's supposed to be the head of everything, which is very odd. Also, I thought in Men in Black, there's a character in there, a lot too. She looks exactly like Hillary Clinton. And then I noticed Madam Secretary, the show. She also has a very sort of deep Hillary Clinton feel about her. So I don't know if they're foretelling it with these shows, or they're saying something in these shows, if it's either the universe sort of relaying messages, or if that there's people, that are high up that know this sort of stuff about her. There's some sort of syncs going on with her in those shows. I'm very good at looking around and seeing exactly, because nothing can be hidden. And if you just look around, everything is sort of on the surface, if you can see. The truth is on the surface. So it's funny because, I track Trump in some shows like Back to the Future. I do know that Biff and Trump seem to be the same character. They have similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think especially Trump is being controlled or something. Because I watched the debate between Trump and Hillary Clinton, and he was holding back quite a bit. Really, he could have completely annihilated her in that debate, and he didn't. I think there's another debate on tonight, so it'd be interesting to see what his tact will be in tonight's debate. But I'm guessing it's probably going to be the.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Trump will not. That one, there's two theories I have. They're either going to set it up so it looks like Trump would be the runners-up and win, but in the last minute, Hillary's going to win. That's one of the things I thought about. That is a possible sort of scenario that might go on.
Yeah, personally, I think Trump will win the election. They may make it look like it's quite close, but then something may happen to Trump. You know, people have been talking about he'll be assassinated or something like that. Or I don't think Hillary's in any states to become president, health-wise or anything else really. But I don't know what you think about that.
The thing is I do think that Trump is quite close, has a lot of Russian connections, which are very worrisome. And I won't say more about this, but I do think there's something sort of in the United States, some inner factions that would not like him becoming president because of that. And that's what I picked up a while back, because of his blatant sort of connections that he has to Russia.
He's certainly very positive about Putin, isn't he?
He is. I'm a bit shocked. You know, I've seen some people online just claim, I am Russian, thus I am for peace, because they're like saying, claim to be a Russian or this or this. And I'm like, and they're like, what is this insanity going on? People see Putin as some Christ that's going to save the world or something. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't think Putin or any government leader is going to save the world, to be honest. But I think we need to save ourselves, really. Relying on some government to step in and save us is not really, realistic. You got any thoughts on that, Christine, on the elections?
No, I agree. No government's going to come in and save us. Yeah, that's the final word on it, isn't it, really?
I mean, I know there seems to be a bit of a build-up in all kinds of places in the Mediterranean and the South China Sea. You know, the Russians and the Chinese and the Americans are all sort of, I don't know how you call it, flexing their muscles and waiting for someone to almost start World War III in a way. I don't know if it's some kind of distraction from the elections or just a general distraction from everything else that's going on in the world at the moment. Sorry, Sarah, did you want to say something?
Yes, again, this is coming to where I say that for the fallen beings, that soul energy is important for their survival and that they harvest. I was saying how the planet, in the word planet, you have plain nets. You could see, and it says ET net and some other stuff. I was decoding that earlier. This is what I'm saying, is that there are fallen beings who want to basically harvest a lot of souls from Earth and soul energy. And this is where playing up so that everybody starts fighting and everybody's stressed out and stuff. These beings can feed on that. And I'm seeing more and more there's sort of a frenzy to start a war, start a very huge war, to start one that would basically annihilate everybody.
And this becomes into fear porn also comes into it. Is that right, Sarah?
Well, that's it. That's the whole thing, is it's definitely being played out, and the whole thing with fair porn is being played out a lot. But there's also the truth that it does seem like they want to start a war, and I have had dreams about this, and it does really seem, that they want to start a war. And this is where we need to not, knowing stuff like this, and we see the masses in the world and what they're going towards. This is where we need to sit down, I think, and pray, and we need to really, really pray and be a bit more positive about it. That's a good thing to do, I think, at this time, because everybody is fearful, everybody's freaking out, and these beings are feeding off of that.
Yeah, that's true.
I think there's also a need for us. I mean, I know we've talked about how appalling we perceive both candidates, but I think we also need to be people of solutions. I know Sarah is a person of solutions. And that we need to be careful not to go for the nothing can be done. Well,
so that's it. And
nothing can be. Yeah,
I think a lot of all this as well is also manipulated by the media. So even though the Russians and the Americans might be doing something, in the Mediterranean, it may not be reported correctly in the first place. It may be manipulated to look like the Russians are starting something when in fact the Americans are actually starting it.
Well,
and so.
Everybody is spying on everybody else, what they do. that goes in as red, I have to say.
Sorry, say that again. I missed that.
I said everybody spies on everybody else. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But I also don't believe that any politician, even Putin, actually wants to start Third World War, because the downside of that is pretty much annihilation of the planet as we know it. And that is an incredibly high risk. I think it's a big game of brinksmanship rather than wanting to start a war.
This is true, but you have to realize that a lot of these people are basically, like, we've come to the conclusion, they do seem to be acting possessed, and like they're pushing each other, you know?
I agree.
It's sort of overriding basic human survival, which would be not to start a war, and these people are actually definitely possessed, which it's not normal that's happening.
Fair point.
That's not normal at all. The way that people are acting is not normal, and it seems to become it's becoming more and more rampant that people are just attacking each other, or people are, sort of like acting weird or stuff like that, like they're possessed. And I'm reading this in articles more and more. I read one, I think it was in the Guardian the other day, about bullies and how they did say there's something very wrong with the world right now, and they're worried about politicians, both the bullying and politicians. And it's, again, I do think it's about possession.
Okay, when
I was in the United States doing research on this stuff, and I basically had researched a lot of this stuff and had seen some visions and different stuff, and seen that some of these politicians, the top politicians, they do open portals and summon demons to give them more power, and that this was creating a lot of chaos and a lot of possession, because they're always trying to summon more powerful stuff, They're going to levels that they should never go to. And they're using this to try to, sort of hypnotize the public. And I saw that when I was in the United States on a spiritual level. I did see that Trump was very much using some sort of entities that he was doing that he was summoning during black magic rituals.
Okay. I don't see any more questions coming in media related. Do you want to answer any questions, just general questions at the moment, guys?
Christine?
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind.
I'm just scrolling through them all at the moment, just one sec. Okay, one question from Anna. What kind of diet is good to strengthen your aura? You want to say that, guys?
I would say that a diet with I was shown that a diet that has a lot of vegetables and fruits and nuts, that's the best one to have, because the colors inside of the food, they help heal your aura. Like a green apple, it helps strengthen your heart aura. So I do think that's probably the best diet. Lots and lots of raw foods like that, and lots of good fats.
Okay. And Christine, do you want to answer that all? Or, and what helps you personally? What foods do you...
Maybe drinking, get a chunk of rose quartz, put it in a jug and sip it through the day. That's good for you, right?
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, again, we can put different stones in water and charge it like that. I showed you, Taj. Do you remember?
Yeah, I've tried some of Sarah's herbal.
You did several of those over the summer, Sarah, isn't that right? You did several of those over the summer?
Remember, we set them in the sun. We put a whole bunch of different colored chakra stones inside of water, set it in the sun all day. Then at the end of the day, I'd go drink it. It's very good for you.
Yeah, Sarah makes these herbal mixes that she leaves out in the sun all day and then drinks them. They're quite good.
Admit it, Charles. Some of them are a bit of an acquired taste.
Some of them are quite good, so I say we'll be more specific.
These are the ones that you have not.
We've got a question from David Lloyd. Does Christine think she's ever going to work in mainstream media again, or would you like to work in mainstream media again?
Hi, David. I'd dearly like to. I mean, I did the article for Byline. I know that's mixed. Hugh Grant's kind of paper. Well, behind the scenes, he kind of runs it, but I'd like to. I mean, I still I still file copy. When I get a good story, I still file copy. I mean, I tried to get Mac's death, Mac's murder in quite a few newspapers. And they were, most of them were interested. The Sun loved the picture of Max and Sarah that he said, you know, what a beautiful couple. And they really wanted the story, but we were trying to, they couldn't confirm with the police that they were investigating it. So the story's on hold. So, you know, if I get a story, I do try and put it mainstream, you know, because there are, you know, I've got connections there and there's outlets, and you can get stories in mainstream, you know, if you try hard enough.
Did you ever think about like writing your own sort of, doing a website where you sort of do your own stories and publishing them like that? I think that probably a lot of people would follow that, be interested in what you're saying. Have you ever thought about that?
No, I haven't thought about doing that actually. I suppose because I've got to earn money, and you know, I've got a support a family just on my own. So I kind of think, well,
You could.
huh?
You could do like a freelance writer, and then you could go ahead and, you know, just put a button for PayPal and say, since I am doing freelance writing, and if you ever want to donate anything and see, you know, people might just donate to that. Because I do think we need a more unbiased freelance writers that are willing to, you know, use dignity, compassion, and care in the stories they're writing, and literally look at it in depth and bring up some good points about a lot of things, whether it's politics, whether it's, you know, just things that are going on in the world in general. And I think you would be really brilliant at that.
Oh, thanks. I could think about doing that. I could think about doing that. You're right.
I think there's
did that the other day. I'd like to. You know, I really wish I had a source of income where I could do something like that.
I think we all would, Christine. See, Christine, and I think you've also got a skill that most of us don't understand the implications of it. And that because you work in media, you know that sometimes a story doesn't get run, not because someone's trying to suppress it, but just because the media can't see an angle for making money out of it, if that's totally crude. And I think sometimes we in the people, ordinary people, aren't very good at creating the right story that then you can sell. So that means you have to interpret almost what we're doing for it to get into press. And we don't, most people, I'm very lucky, my twin is a PR consultant and he's taught me a lot. But I think understanding how to use the press as opposed to just seeing it as the enemy, you have a very powerful role to play for us in this community. Would that be fair? Hello?
Hello.
There's a lot of noise. Can anybody hear what I say?
I can hear.
I'm actually here. Yes, I'm here.
That's Christine, I think. Christine, can you mute your mic when you're not talking? There's a lot of noise on your end, I think.
Oh, sorry.
You're moving around or something. No, it's okay.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, Richard, yes, you're right. I mean, I'd like to do something like that, you know, I mean, yeah. Thank you.
And I think that would actually help you if you become known as the reliable source, as Sarah was talking about, the trusted source. That will help you then, people come to you with the story as opposed to you always have to go ferret it out.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to do that. I mean, trying to build up a name of trust. I mean, I was pretty hit hard by different people on radio shows last week saying I was in league with Colonel Michael Aquino, in league with Douglas Dietrich, and generally an evil person who hurt survivors. I was discrediting them. You know, if that's going to stand in my way, it's quite hard for me to punch through that, you know?
That's where you need to ignore these people and you literally just come on and, you know, make some fun about it. And, you know, it is quite hilarious the way that people act. I can't take a lot of these people seriously that are like that. Me, myself, I know what happened to Max, and I do know that he was being exploited because of a lot of followers that he has and the online presence he had, and the fact that these people wanted to use him for that, to promote their book and do some other stuff, and they were not looking out for his health. They didn't care about his health whatsoever, and they were pushing him to, you know, they exploited him on different levels. So basically, there's evidence of that. There's no evidence of you doing anything to hurt Max at all. There is evidence that you're quite a good friend to him, and he had told me about this. So you just need to ignore these idiots and sort of, I think, just laugh about it. And I have to laugh about it. I'm not very well liked in the Wake community. There's a lot of the Wake leaders who have shunned me, and they just don't like me. And I think it's because I'm blunt and I'm not going to play into all the crap. And I know a lot of stuff about them that I just don't like. And I'd rather be on my own. And I'm sincerely okay with being on my own. As long, I don't care if I get any likes, as long as I express. And I know I'm sincere to myself. That's what's important. I don't care what anybody says about me. There was one point where I was like, when I started doing this stuff and I got so many online trolls, I was like, how can the world be so bad? How can people be so mean? And now I've just come to sort of shun them now and just laugh at them and realize that they have issues. It's not me, it's their projection. So it's what you need to do, and not let that keep you from expressing yourself or expressing the brilliant talents you have because they're bullying you online.
Yeah, I think there's like
you, Sarah.
There does seem to be like a group of
I get
people.
bullied easily, and then I did realise that last week after being bullied, and I thought, I'm just not going to bother, even with the radio show. And then I thought to myself, when I get bullied, I do tend to run. It's kind of like playground reaction, and I should stand my ground.
And I think it's useful for you to be able to say, look, Sarah, for example, Sarah Adams, who's a very powerful name and a well-known force in the field. If you have a problem, go ask her. And she will vouch for you. And I think vouching for each other is also another way that we can build up those defences and promote you, for example.
Yeah.
Rather than each of us having to stand on our own and fight on our own battles, surrounded by trolls. We're not alone.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah.
See, and I noticed this thing with trolls is they'll message your friends or family or this or that, trying to get anything. She tried to tear you down, and this is where communication between all of us is very important. If somebody says that, somebody said that one of us said something against the other, I think we need to face it up to each other and ask rather than everybody fighting. And what's happening is everybody is definitely fighting about all this crap, and it's quite sad.
Yeah. Exactly. We do have to stick together. I was quite, warmed when I came back and I said, because I was getting these attacks for posting pictures of Max, and then to come back and I said, right, I'm going to take them all down. I won't mention him ever again. And to come back and see messages of support, from you as well, Sarah and Taj and, some others. And, I just thought I have to stand my ground and,
You're strong, you do. Just stand your ground. I was looking at that one guy on the David Icke photo that posted crap to you. I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just, I looked at that and I thought, I haven't went out for a jog or a run. Well, you're going to get it today. I think I did blast him really bad. I had quite a good time doing it because he was just being an ass to you. I was just blasting him on there.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea for us to back each other up, but don't get drawn into some of these arguments a lot of the time. And it's quite easy if someone says something about Christine or Sarah to just back each other up and say that didn't happen or you're talking bullshit.
Yeah, it's kind of. I think sometimes this is what makes me think that they are demonically possessed, as Sarah was saying, because they go for your weak points. That they kept repeating over and over, "You're evil. We know it, and soon everyone will know it, and you'll be revealed." And my mother used to say that to me when I was a little girl, when I was like 6. So it really triggered me. It triggered me badly.
This is very interesting because when I was a little girl, my mom was very terrible to me. She said some stuff, and these people that have trolled me have said some of the same stuff, and I've come to realize it is demons or entities inside of them possessing them, and they know where to get you on.
Yeah.
This is where I started to create shields towards that, and I do realize I'm dealing with something that is not human,
it's not human, yeah,
evil, and something that I want to see me hurt, and I don't have to sit there and let it hurt me.
Yeah. I mean, Max was helping me with the guy Simon, he's been trolling me, like stalking me for years, and he said to me, "You do know he's not human." He says he's hosting something, and they do. They come up with stuff. I mean, if you read Malachi Martin's book, Hostage to the Devil, you can see a lot of demonic entities talking and the language they use and where they go, and they really do know your soft points, and that for me, that you're evil and it will be revealed at any moment to everybody, and they'll all hate you and see you as dirty and low. It's just like massively triggers me and just brings me right down. And it's you can feel that it's not these people saying it because they haven't
because those
got
entities know what our weaknesses are.
Yes.
Because I think the three of us, I don't know about Tarek, but certainly the three of us here, we were also all bullied in one way or another quite badly growing up. Yeah. And that is our weakness. Yeah.
Yes. And it's bullying. And it's the sort of, I'm going to get everyone onto you. That for me, it does make me want to run. It just doesn't. I thought, I'm not going to do my radio show. I'm not going to go online because I can't handle it.
Right.
And then I thought, well, hang on, Stan.
It's really nice to just imagine a shield around you when they do that. And they're just imagining a good kick in their face and, give it a good laugh. And it's probably the best therapeutic thing to deal with bullies like that ever. And, I just most times I just avoid them. Sometimes if I'm having an evening where I have nothing to do, I want to be, so I turn the tables on them and it is, and teach them a life lesson. And maybe they won't go do that to another person.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll learn something out of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it's better not to engage with them.
It's not, because they come back at you, and they come back at you in a worse way. This woman did such a brilliant impression of my mother. It was unbelievable. And Jolene just said, you say all the things that you wanted to say to your dead mother. Couldn't believe it. And it was weird. I felt so much better afterwards.
Right. I have to say, I pity anybody who Sarah does turn on. She's very good at eviscerating people.
I'm really nice and really lovely, but I am a Taurus, and they're very patient, very kind. But once you push me to the brink, there's no going back, and I will let hell loose on them, and they will regret it. It's happened before, and people were very shocked about it. I definitely have that. I don't know. I prefer to always stay in the light, but sometimes I do think that using the other side when needed sometimes is quite helpful. They can get a taste of their own medicine, and they usually cannot cope with it.
Yeah.
Someone's actually asked a question about entity attacks. How can you prevent an entity attack? Do you want to answer that, Sarah or Christine?
I think taking blue vervain and taking sage works as otherwise you can, I think, putting high frequency stuff around your house like crystals, salt lamps, things like that can quite help a lot. When I was getting attacked, from this whole group that had harmed Max, I was getting attacked every single night. They basically wanted to harm me. They were using black magic on me, and we used the cloak. And the cloak, I put the cloak over where I was sleeping, over my blanket. We got a cloak, a snow white cloak, which is very spiritually symbolic. I put that over me. And it did really help cloak from any attacks at night. It was very helpful for helping me with that. And prayer, when I was, not long ago, I did have a very deep spiritual battle with something. I remember I told you to touch in the middle of the night because I woke up from it and I had this whole experience. And honestly, I just sat there and said, God is, to this being, to this entity, I said, God is with me and I am divine, and I reminded it. And at the same time, I reminded myself. And in the end, this thing had to go and leave me alone. So I do think that prayer and that believing that we are divine and believing in God and believing sort of in that prayer really truly works, because it does. Our beliefs are very important. And using those things to defend ourselves really does go a long way.
Okay.
That's all related to like things like shielding as well and protecting yourself from the entities even, being able to attack you in the first place.
Can I throw in something here?
Yeah.
My experience of work in the spiritual field is that you can't prevent all entity attacks. It is the nature. It's like going out to a walk and expecting not to have insects falling into your mouth. What you can do is partly what Sarah was saying, is make sure your defences are adequate. A bit like your immune system, you keep yourself not tired, for example. You don't overindulge in alcohol, for example, and you make sure you have a positive network, people that you can rely on to back you up, and you learn to become almost like aggressive when you are attacked. Learn to recognize when you're attacked, and learn to fight back, to resist, and not to feel, oh my God, I'm under attack and I'm going to fail. think of it as like you have a sword. You don't have a sword and just hold it up in front of your face and expect the entities to stop attacking you. You've actually got to learn to wield that sword. And I think part of that is actually learning over time. The entities attack, you respond, you become more confident, self-confident, and then the attacks become less debilitating. Does that help?
Yeah, I've spoken to Seth about this as well a bit. You can't prevent every attack. You can only, make sure your defenses are up, as much as you can. You can't prevent every single attack. So you just have to make sure you're, healthy, that you're eating right, and that you're healthy enough.
And I think the biggest problem, again, we come back to, is not allowing yourself to become isolated.
Yes.
Because we stand together or we fall apart.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think especially on the internet, a lot of TIs come to me who are isolated. They're on their own. Their family doesn't talk to them, and maybe they've lost their kids, they've lost their home, and one of my friends is about to be evicted from their house, is going to be homeless pretty soon. And when you're in that state, it's quite difficult to eat healthy and even think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going to be sleeping tomorrow. So it's difficult really in the community at the moment, I think. We have got a question. Sarah, do you want to say something? Do you want to say something, Sarah?
Doing an effort to get out, to even, go in the sunshine, do different stuff like that. It's very important for anybody who's under attack, because they need to get out of. A lot of them are in depression or stuff like that, and they need to go ahead and get out of that. So it's very, very important. So things like doing an effort to take a walk, doing an effort to try to eat somewhat healthy, or things like that are very important, I think.
I think walking barefoot as well. I when I was attacked last week, I went and walked barefoot just for a long, long time, and drew up the energy from the earth and pulled down the energy from the sky. And I think calling on assistance as well. I call on assistance if I'm under attack.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, we've got another question about God. It's from David Lloyd. Is there a God or multiple gods, and no physical God at all? So
well, we all share different views on this. So I think that the good thing that we can do here is sort of say, the different views that we have, and people can take from that. So let's go ahead and do that. You guys start. Okay. You start first.
Who wants to go first?
I don't mind going first. I've discovered lately that Odin is my father. He's one of the lesser gods, and I come from his lineage, and I know others do, and I've connected to him. But I also know that, in the Hebrew text, there are lesser gods. That was hidden from us. And there's the one creator. I don't know if Odin is the creator, but I do have a massive love for that particular god.
Okay, can I build on that?
Say that again, Richard.
Can I build on that? Because I have to say thank you for that. I don't know if you can tell from my name, Odin Thrall, but like you, I'm an Odin's person. I would say personally, I'm not happy with the term lesser god, because for me the gods are almost like, how can I put this? They are a tangible way for us to connect to the divine, which actually at times can be so above us that it's hard to make that connection. Yeah. Some people can, some people are very happy with that almost non-specific entity and feel very connected to that, and that is great. For me, the All-Father, and for me he's the All-Father, the Rune Giver, and the Wanderer, has been a way for me to access a lot of the masculine energy that I have felt divorced from. And I think different aspects of the Norse deity to me are ways to think about and engage with the energies that are being given to us, and that we are supposed to then pass out to the world. So are they real? Define real. Electricity. Nobody's actually touched electricity. Nobody's actually seen electricity in movement. We just know that when we flick a switch or we touch a wire, we sense it. But we don't actually know what electricity is, and that's a physical element. as opposed to the spiritual aspect. So I would say is the question is to a certain extent is misleading. It says it's almost like an either or, and I would say it's an and not. There is and there isn't in a Zen-like way. It depends. But I think to engage in something and not to worry about what others are engaging in, but to find your own source, to find your own spiritual truth that opens you up and makes you somebody who's more productive for the world, I think it can only be a positive thing.
Again, like I said, the proof, like you stated, Richard, it's like God is a bit like electricity. You know, it's there, but you know, it's sort of you can't touch it. Well, you can touch it, but you know, it's definitely not something physical that you can touch. That's what I think about God, and I definitely am very blessed because I do get paid from a lot of different things, and I do believe that there is what I call God, or the divine, you know, energy, or the divine that runs in everything. And I do believe that God is omnipresent, omnipotent, everywhere. And I have a deep connection with that helps me always. It helps me navigate through life, no matter the hardships I went through, because I had a very bad childhood, and you know, even right now, what I'm going through with losing people that I love deeply, it's very, very hard, and I have had help from God on every single level. And the thing is that I do believe that there are, quote, what you call lesser deities that stream that energy through them, and thus they're called considered gods or angels or stuff like that. But I do always, there's God that's above all, and that's that divine essence, that divineness that runs through everything. That's what I believe. That's what my view of God.
Fine. Personally,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Sarah.
The thing is that I believe that when we say, you know, there are these groups of deities, there are these groups of angels, archangels, or whatever, it is beings that stream that energy very, very, you know, they stream a higher level than normal people of that energy.
Yeah. And they're there for our benefit, not to demand obedience, and not for us to own, so to speak.
Yeah, I sort of agree with Sarah that I believe there's like a source energy where everything comes from, but then I think personally I believe all the people on this planet, they all have different souls, and their souls come from different, you know, places. So they all have different beliefs as to what God is, what source is, and so you can't like put your finger on it and say, you know, this is what, you know, God is, or this is what source is, because every person on the planet has a different belief about it. And that's because I think that their soul is from different parts of the universe.
Yeah.
So,
it's like saying that because I hear one note, it's not the right note because you hear a different note.
There is divine light, or the lack of it in certain areas. And I think people who are, you know, possessed or stuff, they're further off from God, from that divine everything. They're more in the darkness of it. Sort of like electricity, when you open, you know, when you light up the light, it's sort of like when it's turned off, they cannot see. They're not connected to, they cannot see the truth, they're not connected to the light.
Yeah, I think even with the children who are being born now, like you might call them star children or whatever, you could ask them, you know, who is God or what is God, and they will probably all have different answers because they would come from different, you know, their souls would be different from different places. So, you know, there's no definitive answer, I'd say, to that question really. It's all what your belief is, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
We've got another question about RH blood. What does the panel think about RH negative blood? It seems that only 15% of the world population have this, and many abductees have this blood group. I wonder what these bloodline groups have blood-wise. Why are most abductees RH blood type, I guess?
I'll briefly go for this one. Probably going to make some people mad who don't believe in the whole offspring of the angels or whatever. I do believe that's connected to the Nephilim. That there were different branches that came down in this earth, so I do believe that that's connected to that. There's a lot of evidence for it. You know, I'll briefly say I think that it's definitely that, and that's where some of these blood types that are rare or that are different are coming from. They're stemming way back to that.
So is RH like an alien or a foreign blood type? It's not what you might call human or.
Well, you know, it's very interesting because there does state in the Bible that there's these sons of God, but there also states in some cases that there were basically the serpents, you know, that, you know, it's funny because the Bible's so encoded to me, but when Jesus talked to them, he talked to them as serpents. He talked to some of them as serpents. Nobody even realizes this. And that's where I think there's the whole reptilian sort of connection there, is when he refers to them as serpents. Then you have the book of Psalms that says in the end days that, you know, beings will walk as serpents or whatever. So I do believe that some of those bloodlines are from that also, those blood types.
Mm. Christine, do you have anything?
What is RH? Is that the rhesus, the negative?
Rhesus, yeah,
Which is negative, yeah.
I don't know. I know Fritz Springmeier writes about that a lot, doesn't he? Isn't it something to do with the Aryan bloodline is more psychic and therefore easy to control?
Because apparently they're connected to the Nephilim or the fallen angels bloodline. That's at least what I have read about it on that subject.
Oh, right. Oh, it's interesting. It's not great to hear that, is it? Mine's rhesus.
Rhesus negative. Are you rhesus negative or rhesus positive?
I think positive.
Right, because right, I'm a rhesus negative, but I'm not sure what that means to me.
Well, Richard, remember what we were talking about teeth and how you had no roots.
I had an extra wisdom tooth that didn't have a root to it. That's right.
Yeah, me too. My wisdom tooth didn't have any root to it. The dentist was tripping out about this.
There are certain oddities that Sarah and I share, even though we appear to be completely unrelated in many ways. But yeah, there are some bizarre things that I'm still learning about. So I'm not sure I have an opinion yet on it.
Okay.
I know my brother can twist his hand all the way backwards, and then he can like lift his head and take it out of the socket, and just he does like where he cracks his head, and I'm sitting there like, don't do that in front of me. He's double jointed. He's double jointed.
Who is?
My brother. He can just lift his head and people crack their knuckles. He just does that with his head, and he can bend his fingers all the way backwards. Like, oh, people usually can't do that. He's double jointed. Brothers sleep with their eyes open too. They used to sleep with their eyes open.
Sarah, what blood type are you, Sarah?
Do I have to go into this? I prefer not to talk about that.
All right, yeah, okay, no problem. Next question is from Nicole. I think it's to do with the pineal gland. The best way to open up your pineal gland. I think there's a lot of different stories on the internet about this. I don't know if you can clear that up, Sarah, as to what or how you can open up your pineal gland.
The best is with a neodyme magnet. Works very well, and then to strengthen your peripheral vision helps. You have to use the right type of magnet, by the way, and the right side of it, and I'll try to post an article. I do recommend that, you know, when you do these things, that you try to get there a bit more naturally with cleaning, detoxes, and stuff like that, and you will get there. And it's going to take a lot of hard work, and I'm going to be honest about this. You know, sort of the path to hell is quite wide, and the path to heaven is very narrow. And so is the path with this. I think it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of, you know, you really, really have to sort of connect your soul, sort of connect to God and everything like that to get to those levels. And you just don't want to open your pineal gland and not have any sort of spiritual protection and not be connected in the right way, because then you can get attacked. And there are some stories about that. So I do think that you want to do it, you can use a magnet, but you better do all the rest of the stuff along with it, and detox and praying, meditation, and not sort of, be lazy about that. That's very, very important, because you have to have the energy, higher frequencies, and you need to have juice and lots of vitamins and stuff like that. Lots of good supplements like fulvic supplements, gold, not monatomic gold, but actually colloidal gold. Those sort of things work well with that too.
Christina, have you tried anything to open up the pineal gland?
Apart from just to add the meditation to imagine it busting open, just to see it exploding out of its shell, the calcification, etc.
Mm.
I think that.
Richard, have you got anything?
I don't know. This is not a field that I have any experience in. So, yeah.
No, you can take what is it? Iodine. There's a specific brand of iodine, and it really helps with that too.
All right. Do essential oils work at all?
Yes. Well, you can go ahead and just put them on your pineal gland, or I take them internally because I'm just like that. I'm French, and French people usually take them internally. Let's see. I would think that myrrh and incense do a lot. I usually always put myrrh and frankincense. I usually always put that on my head. I do think that it helps. I'm actually going to send you, Taj, about opening your third eye using a magnet. If you could post that in the group, that would be awesome.
What were you saying, Sarah? You put myrrh and what on your head?
Myrrh and frankincense.
Whereabouts on your head? The crown?
Yes, I do. And I do think that it was used they put it on Jesus. I do think so that it would protect him while he was a child. I do think that that was one of the reasons it was put on him.
Oh.
Okay. Next question. Someone's asking about what type of blood group you think the royal family is, like the Queen and other royal bloodlines. Are they all the same blood type or blood groups? Why? I think that's the main question, really.
Oh, okay. So I have mine. I do believe that people hold more than one blood type in them. I know this sounds a bit insane. I do believe they're testing for the most dominant blood type. I do believe that, and my doctor told me this because of the fact that, when I was younger, I had all these things go crazy, and they diagnosed me with lupus, and lupus it's probably not even the diagnosis. It's, when I get energetically stressed, I do get some issues, but he was telling me that it's possible to have two blood types and one attacks. If it's a woman and she gets pregnant, the one blood type can attack the dominant. If you have two, whatever the fetus is, whatever dominant blood type the fetus took, the other blood type inside of you will attack it. So he was telling me that some people actually do have two blood types. I do believe that we're tested for the main blood type. I do not think that we're tested for other sub-levels of things that we need to test for. I think in the future this will come out. So I do think that a lot of the royalty probably would have some AB and some other specific blood type stuff. I do think it's sort of a bit mixed. Because when I look at them, I see some that are more pure, which seems more pure blood type, and some that seem a bit more of another. But I do believe that they probably hold some different mixed sort of blood type codes in them.
Mm. And I've talked about this with you before, Sarah, about the stuff like the Human Genome Project, where they're using it for one. They're saying it to use map DNA. What they're doing is they're taking blood samples from people all over the world to look for these blood groups. They're searching for specific blood types all over the world. I don't know if it's for
blood types is I think they're searching for certain codes in certain people's blood types. That's what I think they're searching for. I believe it goes further than just blood types.
Yeah, I agree. Christine, do you want to say anything about
I'm ignorant on that subject.
that? Yeah, Richard?
I have nothing. I'm ignorant about it as well.
I think we'll wrap it up in a few minutes, I think. I'm just going to check if there's any more questions. I think we probably will just wrap it up now. Yeah, that's all the questions.
So here, I would add a statement about the whole field that I'm reading right now. Magnets cause the body to become alkaline, especially that part of the body where the magnet is attached. This magnet will work, but only this magnet's on the head during waking hours. The energy from the magnet that is basically connected to sun or raw energy can magnify the stream of magnets. Magnets' effect on the pineal gland must have been form.
Sorry, I didn't catch some of that. Your sound's not that good at the moment, Sarah.
No, it's not.
Did you hear that,
Yeah.
guys?
No, I didn't. Okay, muffled.
Could you repeat that, Sarah? We couldn't understand what you said.
Oh, so it's saying that the magnets will alkalize, and they alkalize the body energy to open the pineal gland. They should only wear them during the awake hours, and they stream more sun or light energy into you.
Okay. Okay, we'll end the show there. Okay.
You know, I thought it was streaming, so the whole part is after.
I can't really hear you that well anymore, Sarah. I think I don't know if you're too close to your microphone or.
Is this better?
It sounds really bad.
Is this better?
That's better, yeah.
Okay, so I was saying that whole part zapper works really well, by the way.
No, I can't hear. It's just gone again. Can you guys hear Sarah properly?
No.
No. Sorry.
I think you talked about closing up anyway. It's 10 o'clock here, and I certainly need to be heading to bed soon.
I'm just going to wrap it up now. So thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. God bless. Good night,
God
everyone.
bless.
Nice to chat.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Bye.